Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel. Today, crypto market is kind of stagnant. After the crash, it just moved a bit up, but from that time, it's staying there. It's not having that much movement. I'm talking about the top 10 cryptocurrencies. Now we will actually look through different news articles. This is the early time of a month, and we know that escrow is releasing 1 billion XRP, and most of the news articles try to put that into a negative perspective. And today we'll discuss through that, try to showcase what my opinion is that about it. Then we'll go through other articles related to cryptocurrency, and then how governments are looking into cryptocurrencies, what's happening in China, and how other updates are moving on, like say for in tweet. This is from Crypto McQ, then Elixir Capital, or Roses on the Moon, Houston, and from Surgeon Obi-Wan. Prior to that, I would like to kindly request you guys, if you guys like the content I provide on a daily basis, please do support the channel. Please press that subscribe button, and if you like the video, please do like it. Now, we'll jump into that, all news is, but prior to that, we'll just look at the technical side of it. Like the news and other updates are showcasing more or less the fundamental of each coin, right? So for those who trade, mostly they trade based on charts, right? The technicals. Unless you are a long-term investor who just look the chart at once in 3 months or 4 months, put your money in and wait for the fundamental to change, get that swing and take all your profit. So this is XRP on a 4-hour chart. Now we are using some moving averages comparing with our MACD. Now on a 4-hour chart, we can see that the MACD has a bit of bounce from there, and the price of XRP in 4 hours moving towards the moving average range. Now say the blue one is actually 20-day moving average, and green is 50-day moving average. So now it has managed to get above 50-day moving average, and we have a positive cross here. Say the 20-day moving average has crossed the 50-day moving average in a daily, and it's currently staying above that. That's good news for the time being, and we are still managing that new trend line. Say this is the new trend line which is forming in that. I'll get a bit closer and look at it. Say this is an hourly chart, and in this we can see that the price is actually respecting that particular trend line. It is bouncing from that support area each time which is coming to that area. Now, in a shorter time frame, when we look at it, the higher target should be around 0.24. But if you are an XRP holder, you know that this is a long-term game, so you'd be looking at it on a longer time frame, right? So say you'll be looking at it at least on a daily time frame. Then you can see that the target should be somewhere around 0.3 or around 0.35. if it's breaching the 0.3 area, because this trend line is being valid from a long time. As you can see, the price is bouncing from that area and resisting in this particular area. So the higher target of this particular channel, this particular pattern should be somewhere around 0.35, but almost all the time you aim for 70 or 80% of that pattern, right? So now we'll actually look at XRP to BTC, and we'll do the same. Say for example, right now this is a daily chart. I'll just move into a shorter time frame chart, because yesterday we actually discussed about XRP BTC on detail from longer time frame. Now this is in a shorter time frame. Say this is a 4-hour chart, and as we know, we can see the price is actually making lower low, right? So within that lower low, if we go into hourly chart, we can see that at this particular point it is actually making a higher low in hourly chart, but in a 4-hour chart it's still bearish. Now only if the price manages to move above this particular area, we can say that that's a bullish pump, because currently this area is acting as a resistance, and if the price manages to break above that, move above that trading zone, that will be a positive news. Now as we can see that currently in XRP BTC we already had 2 crosses, which is 20-day moving average cross the 50-day moving average, as well as the 100-day moving average. And right now the 50-day moving average is crossing the 100-day moving average to the upside, say in a couple of days. And what you have to check is, yeah, I agree, this is a 1 hour time frame chart, and you are getting a wick here to the upside. So that's actually a positive news. If the price is breaking this particular trend here, then yeah, the 200-day moving average will be acting as a resistance. Now when we look at the 4-hour chart for the same, we can see that the price has been slowly moving to the upside, and it has finally reached the resistance area. So if it managed to get above that and trade within this range, that's actually a bullish pattern. Now we look at BTC in USD. So in BTC to USD, as we discussed last time, we can see that the trend is still valid. It's moving within this pattern. So the upper target should be around something around some 8,600, 8,700 area. But when you look at that on a hourly time frame, what you can see is it's still maintaining that higher lows, which is actually a good news. And at the same time, what you can see is currently the price is actually moving to the upside. We can see the movement of prices to the upside in this particular area. But if you take that on a MACD, you can see that it's actually moving to the downside. So that's a bit of negative unless if this 2 line crosses above this. So if that happens, then yeah, it is a positive news. Otherwise, it's still a bit bearish. Now we'll look at that on a daily time frame, and we can see that we are getting a MACD close to the upside, and that is actually good news. Like if you are a buyer, because we already bounced from this particular area, we are managing a high and low and at 7,400 region, and we are getting a positive MACD cross. That's actually a good news, because if that crosses to the upside and validates that, the price can actually move to the top area of this particular channel. Now we'll look at Ethereum in USD, because this is the king of altcoin, as other people considers. You know, at least we from the XRP community consider XRP as the king of altcoins. Now this is also following the similar pattern to that of BTC. It's currently bouncing there. It's gonna get cross to the upside on MACD in a couple of days, then it will move to the upside. Now when we look at that and compare it with XRP, what we can see that XRP is getting across in 1 or 2 days maximum, and it's also having a similar pattern. But in a weekly for XRP, it's even more bullish. Say the price is moving something like this, and as you can see the trend here, the price is showing you kind of a consolidation to the downside. It's moving not that high, but here in MACD you can see that positive momentum is being building, so there can be a price explosion. Now we'll go into the news article. Say first 2 I'll be sharing is related to the escrow release of XRP. Now this one is showing that XRP has been released, and will it push the price lower? If it does, then that would be catastrophic. This particular author suggests that's not a good news. And for this one, it's showing a bit of mixed ideas. Say 1 billion XRP released from escrow as BTC and ETH whale activity escalates. So what you have to understand is when BTC and other major altcoins are having huge momentum, say not in terms of price, but in terms of volume, there is something happening in the background, right? So in order to cover up that, they are saying that's the reason why XRP is released this much. Because as we know previously, Ripple, the company, stated that they won't be releasing this much XRP unless it is necessary, because they already consider that there are enough liquidity in the market for those who need to buy that. So they won't be doing that much OTC at this particular time. Now this is another article showing that crypto analyst delivers Bitcoin breakdown alert. So the price point is he's showing that if the price reaches around $8,000, then there may be selling pressure. Sellers will be coming in at that particular area, and then yeah, you can target the low somewhere around 6,000, 6,500. Now looking at that opinion, yes, it is possible that because we just made a new low for this particular cycle, and say after 3,000 to 14,000 we came around 6,500. So if it's gonna retest that area, yeah, the price can go around 6,700, 6,500. But if buyers are not coming in at that particular area, or sellers push the price even lower, then yes, there may be a possibility that the price can go even low, because as we can see that the price is moving up here, but the momentum is reducing, but at the same time the volume is also going to the downside. So that's a scenario where you can expect the price to come back. But if the buyers are too confident about the long-term scenario and they are coming in, then it should get a bounce around 7,000 or 6,900, 7,000. Now this one is showing early BTC investor showcases Bitcoin cash to skyrocket. So that means, that's just my perspective. When these guys are stating that this coin is gonna have a huge rally, usually that happens the other way. People will just jump into that, they will get crashed, and those guys who state this will just take out their profit and move along. Now this is showing that the transaction volume of XRP is too high. It's soaring on the back of the Thanksgiving Day. Now this one shows India versus the people. Now this is actually totally a cover up. Say you can say the country is having more or less similar opinion to that of China. It's high on blockchain but not that good on crypto. It's actually trying to ban it, like the RBI's ban is the only stumbling block for India's cryptocurrency ecosystem. In July this year, a committee appointed by the Indian government proposed a blanket ban on cryptocurrencies across the country. Now this is something foolish as per my perspective. Like, now I'm an Indian and I feel this is a political drama, right? So I feel it in that way. Now this one is showing that China is still continuing the crackdown on crypto exchanges. Now another crypto exchange is being closed down based on the crackdown from the government. Multiple exchanges shut down as China continues crypto crackdown, and that's a bad news, right? When they are actually coming up with their own cryptocurrency, say yuan crypto or yuan coin. Now it appears that, like everything else within their borders, China feels it needs to have tighter controls on the crypto market, including exchange, miners, asset issuers. I do believe, however, they are moving in a similar direction as Japan and other jurisdictions that have tight and clear regulations for crypto businesses. Now, if the writer is correct, or his perspective is correct, then yeah, they will do the crackdown first, and at the end they will come out saying, okay, now this is the regulatory framework which we will allow you to work within. So if you guys want to work within our country, you can use or adopt our framework. In that particular area, until that particular area, it looks a bit of cloudy day. But if the regulatory framework is to be set on a clear perspective, then it should be a sunny day. Now, Binance rolls out Ethereum futures platform after record-breaking Bitcoin volume. You see, on December 1, the Bitcoin volume is actually increasing. So as the volume is increasing, the exchanges know how to make their profit, right? So they are rolling out new products to attract new customers. And yes, the number of customers will be increasing, because consider some months before Bitcoin was around 3,000, right? And most of them from traditional market, like Peter Schiff was stating, it's going to go to zero, it's going to go down below 1,000, blah, blah, blah. The price just went to 14,000. Now it's correcting around 6,500, and I don't consider that as a bad thing for a crypto ecosystem, because that always happens. Say 50%, 60% drawdown and then move up high. So that's actually common in the cryptocurrency market as far as I'm concerned. Now, before closing the video, we'll just look at XRP again on a daily time frame and hourly time frame. This is the hourly time frame view. As we can see that the price is still getting a bit of momentum. It is still moving up. Now, in an hourly chart, if you are a short-term trader, you can see that the long up-shaped candles is a positive item if you are a day trader, right? So now you'll be looking at the price closing above these two moving average, which is 50 and 100-day moving average on an hourly chart. So if the 20-day moving average is rounding up, making a bottom and moving to the upside, that will be better. Now, in the daily, as we discussed, we are getting a bounce. So if this is to happen and the price is to move back up to this particular point and check here, then what you have to remember is this is a resistance area, and at the same time the 20-day moving average is also coming down. So that will also act as a resistance on a daily time frame. Then, as we discussed in yesterday's video, we can see all of the moving averages above the price, and that will act as a resistance unless we get a high push in the volume and movement to the upside. Because unless a bit of FOMO occurs either from retail or from institutions, this area can act as a lot of like a resistance, because this was a long-term support previously. Now I personally believe that will start acting as a resistance. But there are times when the price of XRP doesn't even consider anything about the resistance or any credibility for resistance. It just explodes to the upside. Now that's all for today, and if you guys like the content I provide on a daily basis, I request to you guys again, please do support the channel. Press that subscribe and like button. I'll meet you guys on my next video.